Well, as we've talked about, hospitals are dealing with more respiratory illnesses, and now there's a new worry.
New data shows more teens are using tobacco, and one area doctor says that it's leading to more long-term lung problems.
KCBD News Channel 11's Michael Cantu shares that concern.
For pulmonologist Jimena Solis, the vaping trend was concerning even before the pandemic.
I had a patient while I was in training that was 19 years old and had to be listed for a lung transplant from a vaping lung injury alone.
And now with more teens saying they are vaping and smoking, Dr. Solis is worrying a bit more.
And we're starting to see patients come in younger. I don't know if it's because people are smoking at a younger age or just the society we live in where we're exposed to more chemicals and fumes. Could also be post-COVID that is uprooting more diseases.
New data from the CDC shows more than 11% of U.S. teens say they're using tobacco products, mostly electronic cigarettes. Now, even though use is not new, this does come after a decrease in reported usage the last few years.
Absolutely. I think we're seeing a younger patient population.
On top of that, she is seeing sicknesses that are usually associated with older folks like COPD and emphysema.
The kids are more likely to pick up a vape. They're also coming up with flavors and different ways to addict these children to these substances.
Dr. Solis adds getting addicted may not entirely be the kid's fault. Some just do not know the harm it could do to their lungs. Regardless, there is still growing concern for the future.
But now I've kind of seen an uptick in people picking up cigarettes again, and vaping, of course, which is also very common. But I've seen more younger people pick up cigarettes, and that is, I know everything goes in waves, but it's a concerning one for the future.
Michael Cantu, KCBD News Channel 11.